Hey, 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 what's good, beautiful people? Welcome to my channel. My name is Shella, or you can call me your lawyer bestie, and I'm an admitted attorney of the High Court of South Africa. In today's episode, this is episode 1 of exploring non-traditional legal careers. So these are careers that you can get into with your law degree without being admitted. In today's episode, we have a very good friend of mine, Nadine. I'm so happy to have her, and she's not admitted, and she is an insurance negotiator living her best life in corporate. In this episode, she shares her story and a whole lot of gems. I am super excited for this. Are you ready? Let's get into it. And with me, we have my very good friend Nadine. Woohoo! And I am so
Hi.
excited to have her.
Hi,
So Nadine,
everyone.
before we start, just greet the people, tell them who you are and what do you do.
Hi, everyone. My name is Nadine Botha. I am 29 years old and I am an insurance negotiator. I studied
Yeah, so
LLB graduate. We must put that in there.
put it in there so
Yes,
everyone will know that you've got
yes,
your LLB degree and you're not
yes,
admitted, but you are making a lucrative career nonetheless. So
yes.
when you say you're going to work, what do you do at work? What is it that an insurance negotiator does on a daily?
So, right now I am a insurance negotiator for motor claims. So I deal with all motor claims. I liaise with the brokers on behalf of the insured. I make sure that the insured is not prejudiced in any way. I also make sure that the company is not prejudiced in any way, validating the claims, making sure that the process is followed, that compliance is followed within the process, that we comply with all business regulations, legal regulations when settling claims. That's what I do.
That's what you do. All right, thanks for that. I wanted to know, did you know that this job existed before you got into it?
No, I actually didn't know that this job existed. I actually didn't even know um, that I was going to end up in insurance when studying law. I didn't even know that in insurance there is space for legal and to grow in the legal field within insurance. I didn't know that.
Mm,
But being in the insurance field now, I kind of see that insurance is actually something that's so overlooked within the
mm,
legal space because, when you are in doing LLB and you graduate and everything, all they tell you is it's either the big five law firms or you end up being a compliance manager, a compliance officer in these big companies. They don't really talk about everything else that your LLB can do for you, especially in terms of
mm.
but I actually find that I enjoy the insurance field because and one thing about it as well is that it offers so much stability because insurance, you'll always need insurance. It will always be there. So I
Mm.
also find that it's a very safe space for me right now. Yeah.
And I love that you touched on the fact that it's overlooked. The thing is that we don't know about such spaces. When you look
Mm.
at career fairs in university, who's coming? It's law firms. It's law
Yes.
firms who are
Yes.
telling you apply for articles 2 years beforehand, otherwise you're not gonna get space. When you
Yes.
look at
Yes.
the practicals that we do in university, we've got law clinic. And law clinic
Yes.
basically gears you for practice. We've got moot
Yes.
court gearing you for practice. You've got everything is just gearing you for practice and nothing else. So,
Yes.
just
And I feel like even
this
when you get into practice, you also kind of feel like I was not prepared for this. Because being
also
in
that.
practice, yeah, so you're like, what was I doing all of these years? You kind of feel like you're drowning. You literally feel like, what did I get myself into? Moot court. And what was the other thing we did? We did something else, the
Law
law
clinic.
clinic. even
Yeah.
that does not, it gives you the basics like file management. And one thing I'll always remember, I think her name was Miss Bale. Was her name Miss Bale?
Oh yeah, we did it at
At
DFC.
UJ.
Yeah.
No, where did you do your law clinic?
I did mine at DFC.
Okay, I did mine in Soweto.
Oh,
And
okay.
I
No, then
had,
it's not the same
yes,
person.
I had
Yeah.
Miss Bale. And
Mm-hmm.
one thing that I can say that she taught me that I carry with me even today, she says, whenever you get a file, make sure you read the file from start to finish. You know exactly what is
Yeah.
going on. Don't just like skim through. And even now, in the field that I'm in, that's how I start my work. When I get
Oh,
a claim
nice.
file, I remember what she says, read, read, read. So that's the one thing that I've
Read
learned, but I don't even think that fully prepared me for practice.
for practice. For
Mm.
practice. Okay, so let's talk about you've got your LLB graduation day, you've got your certificate. Take us through the journey from getting, the degree conferred to you to now. What was the process? What happened in between?
Okay, so I started in 2013. I did the straight LLB because everyone else had the option to either do the BA, then LLB,
Mm-hmm.
BCom, then LLB,
Yeah.
or the straight
Yeah.
LLB. So I thought, I'm not going to spend all of this time now doing 2 degrees. No, I'm going to go straight LLB. This seems great. I'm going to finish early. I'm going to get a job, you know?
Yeah.
So I went straight
Mm-hmm.
LLB 2013. First year came, I failed first year. I failed
Did
my
you?
first year. Yes, I failed my first year and I wanted to drop out. I remember coming home and it wasn't even the entire year. I think it was after like second semester when we wrote the second semester exams. I was like,
Yeah.
I failed it. I remember I couldn't tell my mom because I was like, I have to find a way to tell
Of
my mom that I don't want
course.
to do this anymore. So I remember, okay, I'm going to tell my mom while she's like in the bar because then she can't come out and like slap me for failing. So I told her, I said, she was in the bath, and I remember telling her, I'm like, I failed my first year, and I don't want to do this anymore. I want to start working.
Yeah.
And my mother's like, there's absolutely no way that you're doing that. You are going to finish this degree. You're going to start over. That's fine. You're going to finish this degree and you're going to push forward.
Yeah.
I said, okay, that was not the response I wanted, but okay. So carried on. Then I redid my first year. So those 6 months, I can't even remember what I was doing for the rest of the year in 2013. But then 2014, I redid my first year. So, oh no, they allowed me to do some second semester modules when I went into UJ to ask them what I can do about this. So they allowed me to do some second semester modules of the first year. But then
Okay.
I think there was 1 year course that I felt like I think it was called Intro to Legal Studies. It was a year module that I had
Mm.
failed, and I had failed psychology. And so I redid my first year in 2014. So first year was the best 2 years of my life, I would say that. But I redid my first year, 2014. Then I passed, I carried on. But then the varsity life kind of got to me, and I wanted to be like out there and living and partying and being friends with everyone and the social life. So I
Mm.
realized I needed money for that. It requires money. So I started working and I got a job at the university. But I couldn't cope then with now working and full-time studies. So I had then started splitting up my studies from second year. Anyway, finished it, but then what was supposed to be a 4 year degree took me 7 years to finish. But nonetheless, be that as it may, I finished it. Finished my degree in 7 years. I graduated in 2020, so I didn't even get a graduation. And that's what I get for wanting to
For
not
seven
finish my
years.
degree. After 7 years, I didn't even get a graduation. I did not get a
Hey.
graduation, but it was fine. It was fine. And then I was struggling to find articles. So I decided, okay, let me take whatever job I can get Because trying to get into these big five law firms, you need like a straight, clean academic record.
Of
Like they
course,
want you to
yes.
be like, top student. And yeah, I'm coming
Mm-hmm.
with my academic record. It's like split up subjects, took this subject this year, so now I'm thinking they're not wanting to deal with that. Fine. So I said, let me take a job. Let me just try and get into a law firm. So I got into an IP law firm where I was doing admin and administration for anti-counterfeit. But while I was there, I learned a lot about copyright, trademarks, patents, anti-counterfeit, all that kind of laws, basically intellectual property. And I enjoyed it, but they weren't taking any article clerks. So I said, you know what, I can't delay this any further. So I took my articles at a very small law firm who couldn't pay me. And I was like, it's fine if you guys don't pay me. I really just want to get my articles done and out the way. So they
Wait,
couldn't pay me. Yes.
wait, before you continue, can we just touch on that not paying thing? Like, can
Yes.
we just touch on, because when, the time you and I did articles, in our respective years, there was there was no regulation. Now there's a regulation that you have to pay candidates this much and stuff. Can we talk?
What
There
what is
is
what is
now.
what are they saying about it now? That how much are
So the
candidates getting
minimum
paid? Mm-hmm.
the minimum in urban areas is 8,000 rand, and then in rural areas it's 6,000 rand.
Wow. Wow.
I know. So at least we're moving into, some progress. But I want us to
Yes.
touch a little bit on how hard it is to get articles to a point where you have to basically
Mm-hmm.
volunteer your services.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how is that experience for you coming out? You've got your degree and you're thinking, well, now that I've got my degree, everything's going to be smooth sailing. But here you are, you're volunteering with your degree. Like, how was that for you?
It was very humbling for me, I must say, because I don't know what it is about us law students, but we have this thing that's like, I did my LLB. But when you get out in the world, it shows you that LLB. That LLB. People in marketing do better. I was like, I should have studied
Yeah.
marketing because I had a friend
Mm-hmm.
and she was thriving. She was able to buy a house. She was able to get married and have a kid. And I was like, I should have done marketing. So it was very
Like,
humbling
yeah.
for me. And also not being able to get into a good law firm. So, but one thing I must say that I am grateful for being in a small law firm. So I was one of two article clerks.
Mm-hmm.
They only had two
Yeah.
article clerks. The work was a lot, and I learned a lot. I learned
Mm.
so much in that time.
Exactly.
Um,
Exactly.
my principal was tough. They're very tough. They are mean and tough, but it gave me such a thick skin. Such a thick skin. My principal, I don't even want to mention his name just in case, but the principal that I had at the time, when I would miss a full stop on documents, he would throw it back on my desk. He's like, this is the dog's breakfast. For me, missing a full stop. But it made me pay attention to detail. It made me realize that it taught me that you have to put quality into this thing. Like you cannot just, and one thing he also taught me is like, imagine you were a magistrate and this comes before you. What are you going to think about you?
Mm.
If,
Mm.
so it wasn't nice not getting paid, but I learned a lot and I learned so much. Like I learned how to do a divorce matter from start to finish, from when the client comes in to consult start to finish. I would do that. Liquidation of estates, start to finish. I learned how to do motor vehicle collisions, road accident fund matters. It gave me all of that experience. Wills and estates. I did a lot of wills while I was there, but I gained so much experience from this small law firm. It's really not nice having earned because they only paid for my petrol, which wasn't even much. So I think at the end of every month it would vary between 2,000 to 3,000 rand. That's what I would come home with. But the experience that I gained there was priceless. That is one thing
Mm.
that I can say. I
Mm.
cannot put up, and I will never forget what I learned there. And I think that's what I don't know so much because I haven't worked in a big law firm, but I always felt like maybe I would have missed this kind of individual attention if I was in a bigger law firm with like
Yes.
20 candidates.
Yes.
You know, I wouldn't have gotten
Yes.
my principal focusing so much on me and it actually benefiting me all through to this day.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
So
Mm.
it was very humbling because I mean, you think to yourself, like everybody else, already I was like 3 years behind everybody else, and then now I'm putting myself behind more, not earning a salary. And, you know, it was tough. It was very tough. I think I still have moments today that I beat myself up about it, you know, like I should have focused more or you know, why didn't I get into a big law firm? But at the end of the day, it made me better. And like I'm saying,
Mm.
the experience I got, that it was priceless. So I
Mm.
am very happy that the candidates today have at least a minimum threshold for how much they get paid in today's economy. I wish we had that back in our day when we did,
Yeah.
back in our
Mm-hmm.
day,
Mm-hmm.
when we did articles.
Yeah.
But yeah, the experience I got from a small law firm, yeah, I can't put a price on that. So I'm still grateful. I'm still grateful. That's what I
So
can
from law firm, you did your articles of clerkship. Then
say.
what? We're expecting, okay, person who does articles of clerkship is moving to admission, you know.
Yes. So
But
I did
you are not admitted yet. Yeah.
no, not at all. So I did articles, but then I couldn't take it for much longer. And someone said to me, okay, just do a year and then do the 6 months full-time law school. So I did the full-time, 6 months full-time law school at Lead in Auckland Park. Is it Lead or Lead? I don't know. I think it's Lead.
It's
Is it Lead?
it's lead.
It's Lead,
It's
yeah.
lead,
So
yeah.
I did
Yeah.
the 6 months full-time law school there. And then I only did 1 year of articles, right? And then I went on to do attempt to write board exams. And I keep all to this day, I keep failing. So right now I just took a break from it because that was also making me feel like so despondent. So I'm gonna try again next year. But now being in insurance, what I'm focusing on is getting like my RE because that's what you require being in insurance. I'm studying currently for my RE1 and my RE5. So that is what you need in an insurance industry, in the insurance industry, sorry. Um, and then next year I want to do an NQF, I think it's level 4 in insurance, so that I also have that knowledge because that's what you require. Where I want to go is to be a specialist, an insurance specialist. So I don't want to be like, you know, I want to specialize in insurance.
Wow. No, like it looks like you have your career mapped out. And what I like is that all the detours led you to this.
Yeah,
Every single
yeah,
thing that didn't go right led to
yeah,
you finding your place in the insurance space, which is something that I want everyone who's watching to take home that, you know,
yeah.
things might not go the way you anticipate, you know,
No,
and even if it doesn't mean that you should give up. Just keep on pushing, keep on moving forward, and you know,
mm,
you'll find your own little space in this
mm,
fraternity. It does not have to look
mm,
like anybody else's, but you'll
mm,
find your space. So,
mm,
friend, you know, now you're talking about the RE1 and the RE5 and, you know, the
mhm.
NQF qualification. I just want to know, does admission count in those spaces? Like if somebody wants to get in, do they need to be admitted?
Okay, so what I can say, I'm still going to push to get admitted because what I'm noticing on a lot of the job applications, the requirements is admission as attorney. Admission.
Oh.
So at first I thought like, no, I'm not going to do this. Like I can't. I just keep failing this. I'm just not going to do this. I'm not going to focus on this. But then every time I would apply for jobs, I'm seeing they require admission as attorney. They require admission as attorney. So I do think, do it, don't do it. But I do think that it's beneficial in the long run, and it
Yeah.
opens up more doors, and it's easier for you to get into a lot of spaces when you have the admission. And even if you don't use it, like I even say to myself, even if I'm going to be in a space where I'm not necessarily going to use all of this legal expertise, nobody can take it away from me. It's something
Yeah.
nobody can take from me. It's only for my benefit at the end of the day. So a lot of the specialists I see in the company I work at, they are not admitted as attorney, but they do have LLB. So, but how they started was, and this is the route that I'm going now, because when I applied for a specialist position, coming into corporate from a law firm, a lot of the people that I did the interviews with advised me that, hey, you kind of don't have the claims experience that we need for someone to be a specialist in the insurance industry. So I had to, what felt like another detour for me is to say, okay, let me then do something or find a job within the company, because I really love the company that I'm at. So it's like to find something in the company that's going to give me the claims experience that I need, because, and it made sense to me, because if you want to specialize in something, you need to know
Yes.
how the entire process works, how this thing
Mm-hmm.
happens, how the company moves. If you want to specialize in this, you need to know the ins and outs of it. So that's what I'm currently doing now. I'm gaining the claims experience on how a claim works, and the different policies that insurances offer, and how that
Mm-hmm.
works, what it offers, and when you need these different policies, and what happens when you institute a claim. And I think even with insurance, there's so much room for me to grow when I think about it, because I can end up being one day when I'm older an insurance ombudsman, or an internal arbitrator, or a complaints resolution specialist. There's so much room there. Like, I'm going back to what I said earlier about the stability and the security within insurance, that insurance is always going to be around. So yeah, that's that.
Mm-hmm.
With that now, with the RE1 and the RE5 and the NQF, and they still require you to have that experience. They always ask for 3 to 5 years of experience. So that's what I'm doing currently to get to where I want to be.
To get to that.
Hmm.
Okay. All right. So, since this series is about alternative legal careers, I just want you to touch on spaces that LLB graduates can get into in insurance companies. So, now we're talking about somebody who has their law degree, but they're not
Hmm.
admitted.
Hmm.
Can they get into insurance spaces? Is there like a place for LLB graduates because you work there?
Yes.
Maybe you've seen. Mm-hmm.
Yes, definitely. I've seen a lot of LLB graduates working in the internal arbitrator space. They're
Mm-hmm.
actually not a lot of them. They're all LLB graduates in the internal arbitrator space. At the insurance ombudsman, LLB graduates, risk and compliance consultants and specialists. The consultants and specialists, like, they don't even require you to have an LLB, as long as you have like a BA law or a BCom law. They want some sort of legal, you know, background.
Background, yeah.
Even the quality assurance specialists and consultants in insurance, a lot of those jobs, there's not a lot, all of the job posts that I've seen for those positions require LLB, BA law, BCom law, together with the insurance NQF and the RE1 and the RE5. That's what they want. Then there's the actual legal space where they do the litigation, because there
Mm-hmm.
are some claims that do end up going to. So we have a
Into
litigation
litigation, yeah.
department that requires admission as attorney, and they require years of practice experience, litigation experience. That's what they need in those spaces. Then we have the legal liability claims department as well, that also the specialists in those departments, they look for LLB graduates as well. So,
Perfect. Because I
yeah.
think, yeah, that's what I wanted people to get. Like, what can
Mhm,
you do with your LLB degree only? Like,
mhm,
because I always emphasize that it's not admission or nothing. Admission is great.
yeah,
Like, I'm not bashing
yeah,
admission. I'll never bash
yeah,
admission. I myself am admitted. It does open opportunities for you. But we
yeah,
see that it's hard to get admitted. It's not easy to get
mhm,
admitted. So, like, what can people do in the interim? Is there
mhm,
something that they can do? So that's
mhm,
basically what I wanted to highlight. So
mhm,
before we wrap up, I want to ask you,
mhm.
what do you think is like the required mindset of an LLB graduate, the type of work ethic that they need to adopt in order to thrive in, the type of space that you're in? I know you spoke about the RE1 and the RE5 qualification, which is going to be like a bonus for them. Like what else besides that? Like how else can a person thrive in that space? And I also just want to add, just touch on the RE1 and the RE5 examinations. Can a person do that without working in the financial sector? So, a person who has their LLB and hasn't started applying for jobs, can they do RE1 and RE5 while still looking for a job?
Okay, so before I forget about that, you need to be within a financial institution. You need to be in a financial institution if you are doing your RE1 or RE5. It's not valid
Okay.
at all. I don't even think they allow you to write if you are not
Okay.
within a financial institution. The forms that you fill out, they ask you where you work. I don't think that they'll allow you to write if you're not within a financial institution. For those people who want to do RE1 and RE5, I'm doing mine through Moonstone. They give you and they even have like some risk and compliance courses on there as well that people can look into, which I am also personally looking into. It's like 10 weeks or something like that. Even at
Mhm.
I think it's called at UCT. UCT, there's a 10-week risk and compliance course as well. Sorry. But yeah, that you cannot do it if you're not in a financial institution. You need to be within a financial institution. And if you leave a financial institution, I'm not too sure how many months or if it's even valid for a certain period of time once you leave that institution to get into another institution for it to be valid again. I'm not sure about that, but I do know it is for people who work in financial institutions. Um, the kind of mindset I'd say you need, one thing I would say is that you need to go in there and know that this is a professional environment. Corporate
Mm.
is very, it's rough. It's rough. It is like dog eat dog world in corporate. Everybody's trying to get to the top and they don't care how they get there, what they need to do to get there. They will do what they need to do. So you have to go in there with a very professional mindset, know what you are here to do, why you are here. Nobody's your friend, so don't try and make friends in corporate.
I've heard
Um,
that.
yeah, I've had to learn that the hard way. Do not try to make friends in corporate. Nobody is your friend. Um, you need to be looking out for yourself. And then on a lighter note, just have a very positive mindset, because the way I was giving that advice, it just sounded so like,
Hey.
you know, but to be very positive, because it can get draining. I mean, you and I are very close friends. I've cried to you many times about how this is so draining. I'm so tired. I'm leaving work so late. I'm
Yeah.
having to work weekends sometimes. And with insurance, you can just imagine, like, there's so many claims coming in every single day.
Every
There are things
day.
happening every day. Claims, it doesn't stop. There's not a quiet period. Because you get hail season, you get theft season, you get storms, catastrophes happening. So it's always busy. You cannot lose focus there, because it's like you just chill for one day. Tomorrow it feels like you haven't been at work for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. and it has a domino effect. So everything starts spiraling around
Wait.
you now. It can affect your mental health. Yeah, you were saying?
Also, I want to ask about the benefits of working in corporate. Now, I've never worked in corporate.
Yeah,
And you yourself have worked in a firm and other
yeah,
places, and now you're
yeah.
in corporate. Can we touch a little bit on the benefits, friend? What are the benefits of working in corporate?
What are the
Oh, you're not
benefits?
seeing them.
What are the one thing I can say though is that my medical aid, I get a good medical aid,
Okay.
medical aid cover. I get a pension fund with my company. There's this thing called
Mm-hmm.
group life. I have a funeral policy with my company.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing is like a savings pot that I have, which pays out. I think I contribute about 300 Rand. It's like an investment. So
Mm-hmm.
they take it from your salary. I don't even, they encourage you to do that, which I think is a benefit. It's almost
Yeah.
like an investment, and you get a certain
Yeah.
portion paid out to you every 5 years and every 10 years. So there's that, like, you have investments that will pay out to you every 5 years, every 10 years. They also encourage people to save. So they have like these savings pot that pays out
Oh,
yearly.
nice.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to December when I get my savings pot.
What's
Um,
that?
yeah, so I would say that those, but I don't get because I work for Old Mutual and Old Mutual owns Nedbank. You do get lower interest rates on certain things. It's not.
Okay.
Yeah, and I also get good premiums on insurance as well, staff rates on insurance.
Oh.
Um, yeah, yeah. And another benefit that I really think is nice is the bonus that you get every year. Because you don't get that well, I didn't get that in the law firm that I was working at, where, everybody's looking forward to bonus time and increased time. So
Mm.
you get an
Mm.
increase and you get that bonus every year. And also because you have like a pension and retirement fund, whatever, you get your tax back. There's tax season that you look forward to. So you get money back from SARS, sorry. So
Hey.
yeah, I would say those are like
And you guys have
the
activities at
big.
work.
Yes, we have activities at work. Sometimes we get free food. Like
I was
I
getting
think it was
to the
yesterday.
food part.
Yesterday we got Krispy Kreme, and what else did we get? I can't even remember. I didn't have time to go down, but there's always events, Women's Day events, Spring Day events. Sometimes there's just like a pancake truck outside for everybody to go get pancakes or waffles on a stick, or
Oh,
sometimes there's DJs there and you're working and you just hear
yeah,
Amapiano
that's
is playing, and I'm just like, where are we? So there's those there's those type of things that makes corporate very nice. Yes. I
mm.
would say those are the what I would call benefits that are
Those
different
are the
from my
benefits.
yeah,
Y'all got a
that are different.
gym. Like you guys have a lot of
Oh
things.
yes, yes, we've got a gym, so I'm able I haven't forgot about that. I haven't been to gym in like 2 weeks, but we have a gym at work, so we get to I get to gym during my lunch hour, which is also very nice. There's showers at work, so if there's no water at home, I know, okay, can go shower at work. You know, yeah,
Mm.
there's nice, and you get like nice goodies every year. You get like water bottles and lunch bags and cups and cute things, cute things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah. No, I know about the corporate benefits, but there are certain things actually that I didn't know about all the
mm.
benefits that you'll be getting. That's why it's so hard for people to move from corporate to law
Yes,
firms. Because
yes,
it's like, God,
yes,
you're leaving all of that,
yes,
for a law
yes,
firm environment. I get that.
yes,
I get
yeah.
that. So yes, you touched on, the mental state that a person needs to have while in corporate.
Mhm,
Not everyone is your friend.
mhm. And
Just
just
get there
making sure
and
that you also, yeah, prioritize your mental health as well. Make sure to take, breaks, and because sometimes it can get overwhelming,
yeah,
so
yeah.
just take those needed rest over weekends, make sure you take your leave and yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, I like that. So now that we're
Mm.
closing off, to somebody who's watching you and they're like, you know what, I also want to be in corporate like Nadine. I also want to be, eating Krispy Kreme once in a while because they're providing it for me. Somebody who just wants to be in insurance and wants to be in that space. What would you say to that person?
I would say go for it. If it's what you want to do, go for it. Make sure that you apply. Make sure that you find out who the hiring manager is. Nag that person on LinkedIn. Trouble them. Make sure you send emails, follow up. Make sure they notice you. Because one thing also about corporate that sometimes it's not even what you know, it's who you know. So if you can make sure you trouble those people on LinkedIn, find them on LinkedIn, message them, email them, let them know that you're there and you're eager,
Yeah.
Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to show your willingness and your eagerness to be in that spot. Um, but yeah, I think I personally like what I do. It's tough, but I like what I do. I'm very grateful that I have the job that I do. So I
Mm.
would say go for it. Insurance it's good. I like insurance. And yeah, for anyone that is interested as well, I hope that they have the same experience that I did or that I'm currently having.
Okay. No, that's good. That's absolutely amazing. I thoroughly enjoyed this. I think people who are watching this are going to benefit a lot or are already benefiting from this conversation because you shared a lot of gems. I love that you didn't hide the fact that, university was tough because for a lot of
Yeah,
us, university was tough. Doing
yeah,
articles was also another struggle. Post
yeah, yeah,
articles, the journey
yeah,
is not easy. And
yeah.
I love that you highlight that because sometimes when you listen to people and you feel like they're not relatable and they tell you about, oh, I combed my degree, finished in record time.
Yes,
And as you're listening to
yes.
these people, like I'm not,
You're
taking away
feeling,
from
yes,
their stories, but sometimes it just feels like, can I get someone who just like failed? Can I get
yes,
someone who,
yes.
didn't,
And you know what
get it
that does?
smooth?
You know what that does when I've
Mhm.
had stories like that where people shared their experience with me and it wasn't all smooth sailing, and to
Yeah.
me it gave me hope. It made me feel like, okay, it's not the end of the road for me. I can
Yeah.
do this.
I
There's
can do
still
this.
light at the end of this tunnel for me. So I
Mm-hmm.
appreciate people who are honest about the difficulties in their journey. And I
Mm.
hope that when someone else sees this and they realize, like, okay, I can still do this, it's not the end of the road.
Mm. I love that. All positive vibes. All
Yes,
positive vibes. And I think
yes,
you are like the poster girl for like just making it out, making it through.
yeah,
You are literally the poster girl. You've been
yeah,
through the most,
yes,
just with,
yes.
professional experiences, personal experience, everything. Like you are
Hmm.
literally that person. And I'm super proud of you as your friend, because I know you and I know the things that you haven't shared online. And I'm super, super proud of you for getting to where you are. I know that it hasn't been easy, but you did that. So, as you're watching this, my viewer, doesn't matter what you're going through, just keep on pushing. See how Nadine's path was. She didn't end up where she thought she'd be, but she's exactly where she needs to be. So thank you so much for joining this conversation. We truly appreciate you on this channel. And thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much. Please give this video a big thumbs up. Drop down to the comment section if you have any questions you want to ask Nadine or you want to ask myself, and subscribe to the channel so the family can grow. Until my next video, I'm sending you tons of love and light. Bye.